It's time for KHANTEHNT! It's
KHANTEHNT!
Digine, best guy ever, and Vic here to talk about Kanojo.
Okarishimasu.
I think it's Okarishimasu.
Okarishimasu.
Okarishimasu, okay.
Yeah.
Basically, Rent a Girlfriend.
Rent a girlfriend.
This is a show about a guy who gets broken up with by his hot girlfriend.
Yes.
So he finds a Rent-A-Girlfriend service online and starts renting this insanely hot girl.
Yeah.
And then after he realizes that this is, like, fucked up and weird, and then she's like, well, yeah, you paid for it. You should have known it was fucked up and weird. And he's like, okay, but then they get trapped into this bizarre scenario where they have to pretend that they're really together because his grandma...
Their families have expectations.
Both of their grandmas.
Both
of
grandmas
them, yeah.
want it.
Together.
But...
A lot of convenience, but it's all right for the
And
setup.
from there, it just is a rom-com. I mean, like, I'll say about this show right away that, like, this whole setup, the idea of the Rent-A-Girlfriend thing is not that relevant, honestly, in the long run. Like, it is the setup of the plot.
That's true.
But the plot is not about exploring this necessarily.
I think, and this will talk about a lot of what I think they don't want to go in too deep into the concept of what it actually means to have a rental girlfriend, because at the end of the day, you're not the only one renting this girlfriend, and they are staying far away from that topic. In we watched 4 episodes.
I mean,
well, in the 4th episode, she does mention, like, I hope this, like, this is gonna have an effect on my future clients or whatever. And then he kind of had a moment of, like,
they're willing. They mention it a little bit that way, and they're willing to go that far to acknowledge the existence of, like, other work. But I want to see her with another John and have the show. But they're too cowardly to show that shit because they want to have their cake and eat it too.
It's funny too because the main character is constantly masturbating to thoughts of his ex fucking other guys. So it's odd that
seems to be the case.
Odd that we never catch him thinking about the other girl fucking other guys.
With his ex, it makes sense.
You're obsessed with your first girlfriend a little bit, right?
And
Everybody gets
it's because
that.
She left him for another guy. So his immediate thought is, that's what she's told him, is that I found another guy.
True.
So his immediate thought is, oh God, what if she fucks this other guy? I didn't get to fuck her.
Yeah.
You know? And so he is projecting what he wants onto that other guy and is jealous of that immediately. So, like, it makes sense with her. It doesn't make a lot of sense with the other girl who he doesn't know his feelings entirely with, you know?
Sure,
and she doesn't fuck any of the other guys that she's going on rent-a-dates with.
These are not sexual rent-a-dates, it's true. Yeah.
I guess if he's that hung up in the logic of why he's masturbating, then I guess that makes sense.
It's the emotional, like, you know, he literally can't control his thoughts of his ex fucking another guy. Yeah. He's not going, oh, I'm thinking about her fucking and it's getting me up. Like, he literally just accidentally thinks about it and gets a boner. Because he's so attracted to his ex that he can't not jack off to her, even if he's imagining her fucking another guy. It's still hot to him because he is so turned on by his ex, which it is. He continually has a massive rock hard boner for his ex.
The message of this show basically is like, don't be a simp. Right?
Yes.
Like, this is a show about the evils of simping, about the dangers of simping.
And our main character comes from a long line of cucks and simps. Let's count the ways. The grandma is a financial simp for the gacha games. Yeah. The parents, I would argue, are absolute simps by just giving their kid money to do whatever the fuck, and he's literally spending it on prostitutes. So, I mean, I'm not using this in a derogatory way. If you want to do a rental date thing, it's not sexual. Prostitution is just the selling of sexuality in general, and she is 100% selling her sexuality in general. Yeah. So she is, in fact, a prostitute.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
But by that being said, there's nothing wrong with being a prostitute. What there is wrong with doing is trying to derive a positive, forward-looking relationship from a position of a prostitute-client relationship. Right. And the show, to its credit, I feared it would go down that way, kind of like that Budokan anime, which is about I've got a video about it elsewhere that we didn't cancel here, about a toxic relationship of an overly obsessed fan just pouring their entire money and life into an idol, and how nightmarish that seems, but then it gets you in that the idol is secretly in love with the super fan, and all that's such a horrific message to give to people.
And this show is
even as a joke.
This show is a bit more nuanced in that the characters both kind of like each other, but there's a push and pull.
They get there.
Yeah, like she doesn't. It's not just like, oh, she secretly likes him right from the start. It's like,
it's more honest that way.
She is continually discovering things about him that she likes.
Yes.
That is slowly, but like, even at the point we're at in episode 4, it's not as explicit as these two characters are in love. If only it weren't for the goofy hijinks. It's
and in that way, I like this show. I mean, significantly more. It is more just like reasonable of a tale, because at the beginning, like, we see the guy in a fit of like loneliness and sexual desperation, like rents a girlfriend. He does it one time, and then he starts to he rents her a second time because he like feels annoyed that this fucking whore just used me for money. Which the thing is, and he gets mad. He invites her on the second date. He chews her out for it, and then she rightly is like, well, what the fuck why are you talking shit about me when you signed the user agreement? And she was 100% in the right. Fuck this guy.
In the words of DJ Khaled, you played yourself.
He definitely played himself.
I like the 1-star review he gave, and she's like, that brought my statistics
down.
Brought
my ranking down,
Why the fuck would you do that?
But he criticized her for not knowing the names of basic fish at the aquarium, and the next day that he goes on a date with her, she has memorized the names of the fish. So she learned from the criticism, and she likes the criticism.
Was that true, or was that did he lie about that to make her sound worse?
No, he had said...
Because he's a fucking liar, is what this guy is.
Criticism.
Okay, if so, I like that. I thought it was a made-up lie just to make her seem worse, but it's not.
She throughout this takes her job very seriously and is passionate about being the best rent-a-date she could be.
So even while mad about getting a shitty rating, she did actually, on her own time, go and like look into the fish to do this better. Right. Not that really is what being like a girlfriend's about, but whatever. Yeah.
But she's a pro.
She is a pro. She took it as, oh, is this how I fucked up? Let me redo it. You
know?
Because at that point, she didn't know why he left the 1-star review until he talks to her later, and it's like it becomes clear the real reason. She might have actually saw that and low-key went, maybe I should learn about fish if I'm going to go to aquariums. I don't know.
That's a very
absurd,
silly way of looking at it.
It's a silly anime.
Yeah. But I mean, when I first watched this, I was screaming and hollering, as y'all can attest to, that I was like, this is fucking degenerate shit. It's encouraging people to like get prostitutes and then catch feelings. This is going to hurt people in the real world. I hate this, just like Budokan. But actually, like, as Vic was saying, it did turn out that it was a little bit more nuanced, and the show itself recognizes, okay, this is no foundation for a relationship whatsoever. Right. So the show is like, it sets it up with that like moment of weakness for the character, and a woman who's, I mean, she's got her reasons for doing this clearly. We don't know those. It's non-sexual. Is it on the prostitute spectrum? You bet your ass it is. Right. But it's not full-blown. She could still get a husband, I suppose. Yeah. But I mean, the logical endpoint of the show has to be she stops doing this because she is selling her time. I mean, again, the fact that the show doesn't have the courage to show the character running into her on a date with one of her other Johns.
I think they still have time. It's only episode 4.
I agree.
Like maybe they will.
That's going to be a big moment.
And maybe it'll be once they've actually established a relationship, and then he has to
way harder.
Yeah, he has to try to get her to stop
right
doing
now,
what she's doing.
We're in the establishing of how feelings even are. Like, am I? Because even episode 4, the last one we saw, like, it's literally ends with like right before the ending event or whatever is like, okay, they've been saying it every episode, but we will break this off. This is a clean ending point. We're gonna go our separate ways. You know that this isn't a real relationship. I do this for a job, so I like can't really get attached, even though she has fucked up her rules because she's young and innocent. I was saying before that like this is like the story. It's like that movie True Romance that Quentin Tarantino was involved in. I forget the actual director. It's about a prostitute at the very beginning of her career. And this is like, the guy she meets, it's all like her third John ever. And she's hired to like fuck him and give him the girlfriend experience. But she catches feelings early in the game, and then it's a whole convoluted thing. Because she's really sweet, and she's willing to break her own rules. It's like, she hasn't been beaten down by the reality of this system. If she keeps doing this, she's going down a dark path. Right. So the sooner we get her out of this pipeline, the better everyone will be. So I want that.
She's not fit for this line of work, ultimately.
She's too good. She's too pure. If she stays in it, she'll get jaded. And it's all going to revolve around why is she doing this? It's going to be like a family emergency. She needs money.
That's the biggest question on my mind. Because like as we go through this show, we've learned more about the main character and sort of why he is such a simp. But like, and it's not like complicated reasons, just like
his personality.
His personality leads to it. But like with both the other girls, there's very much a sense of like, okay, there must be a reason they're acting this way. Yeah. Why? I want to know. Because we've got the ex mommy who is like a BPD psycho fucking like she is yandere. In secret, like, her real personality is just a cold, calculating fucking human machine.
Yep. Yeah.
But she presents herself as just, you know, this bubbly, emotional girl, girly girl. But she's a total social manipulator. She uses the fact that she has a group of people who will do things for her to her advantage. And she only starts being interested in the main character sincerely after, at least it seems that way. We don't know the real reason she broke up with him in the first place.
Like, because she keeps texting someone, and it seems like her objective is to fuck him over. Because
I think she's tweeting somebody. Yeah. I think she's just tweeting, like, angry shit. But, like, yeah, she's like... She's
like an angry femcel Twitter account with like 100,000 followers.
Yeah, no,
and people love her misogynist or misandrist takes on whatever.
I think that's probably exactly the case. I think we're gonna find out she's like some famous Twitter user eventually or something. But like
that'd be funny.
Yeah, she, she's. Which, I mean, Twitter is the perfect world for social manipulators, so it makes perfect sense. It's true. But, like, yeah, like, for her, it's just like, oh, now that there's competition and this guy is having to, like, man up to defend her, I want him to do that for me. So I think of Mami as basically she's trying to find, like basically... It's very easy for her to bend people over and get them to do things for her. So she likes the challenge of, like, a guy who is going to... actually, go against her best interest.
Yeah.
But, like, she also is afraid of actually facing the consequences of her actions, so she's in, like, this weird push and pull of, like, I need simps, but I need them to be stronger than me, but I need them to be simps.
She also could fill the archetype of the person who hates people who are sincere, where it's like, she is fake.
Yeah.
She thinks he is too easy,
Well, it's funny you say sincere. He is sincere. He is a fucking lying piece of shit.
Well, so I think there's an overarching theme here, and it'll become clear if the other two characters are the same.
Yeah.
But it's like, most of the characters, like the girls he's encountering so far, are disingenuous. They are both fake as fuck. They are not showing their true colors. He isn't fake. He's always lying to try to protect someone else, or like to. He's lying to make his grandma feel better.
Sometimes it's just himself.
But he keeps trying to get out of it over and over and over again, and something keeps him in.
The show keeps him boxed in.
He is not someone who's comfortable being disingenuous. He's like being disingenuous.
Yeah.
He's not comfortable being disingenuous. That's what upset him about the date in the first place. Was that he was like, "This is fake. This is wrong."
So he's not like irredeemable or like I said.
But he is a broken man.
The problem with the main character, he is a inexperienced, weak young man. He has no spine. He continually lets people walk all over him, and like he's like, you give him the faintest whiff of pussy, and he's on that thing. He is on it like a hound, and it's to his discredit because this is Red Pill 101. Like, the second he puts up a spine of any kind, all the women are like, whoa, I actually like this guy. So it's almost like there's a lesson there, boys and girls out there, as to the kind of person you need to be attractive.
I'll tell you I'll tell you exactly why that works too. It's because, like, this guy would do all of that for any girl. No girl wants a guy who would do that for any girl. They want a guy who will do it for you.
That's true.
Who's going to stand up for you, not that other bitch.
That's the eternal position of the harem main character guy. Right. That is exactly who they need. They need to be nice to everyone, so they don't seem like weirdly slutty, but they still can like get all the girls to like them by doing stuff like that. That's the niche they always find themselves in.
He has to learn over the course of a show, and it's going to be painful because we've seen it before, Right.
I mean, to get to it a little bit, like, the show, of course, is, like, not for me. I've been there. I've seen it 1,000 times, and I personally am past this in my life. So there's just very little to, like, latch onto and enjoy, especially because I've seen the story done 1,000 times and much better. And there's this weird thing that's like, hey, maybe your prostitute will actually date you if you keep it up long enough, bro. So go for that, dude. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. So, okay, one other point to make about this was that I was reflecting on... So the thing is, there are clearly 4 harem girls established in the opening, and we've only met 2. There's the rental girlfriend, and there's the ex-girlfriend or whatever. And the other 2, we have no idea who they are, and knowing those 2 would definitely inform the point I'm about to make. I don't know anything about them, so maybe if they're introduced next episode, this could be updated. But, like, I get the impression that, like, every harem anime, the girls generally have, like, a theme going on. And I'm thinking of ones like that, that one that's like, It's a Secret? And all the girls, like, they all have a totally different secret.
Jitsu wa watashi wa.
That's the one. One's a vampire, one's a werewolf, one's like an alien in a body. That's the best girl. She's awesome. But in this show, I get the impression, based on the 2 girls we've got so far, that, like, the girls are everyone's fake. Everyone's lying. They're each going to have a unique
it's a show
fake
about
thing.
The fakeness of people's personalities and relationships, particularly, like, the resolution of loneliness through acting.
Because I think the girl with the short hair, the Tsukasa bunny ear thing or whatever, she looked like she was a waitress in the OP, and a waitress has a very similar, or like a hostess or something like that. So, I mean, if that's true, that would lend itself. We'll find out, I'm sure, one of these episodes. But, like, it makes me think that, like, the reason why I think our hero and our main girl and boy will eventually get together and things will work out is because, uniquely, well, they are the most, like, technical liars. They tell literal lies repeatedly, and they are literally faking things at any time. The girl literally pretends to be her girlfriend, then switches it off. But like, in their hearts, in their deepest core, they seem to have, at least compared to the one girl we know, the ex-girlfriend, they seem to be the most, like, honest to themselves, the most true, or at least just have the best, like, moral virtue inside. And I think that will carry them in their relationship
They tell their lies for thought-out reasons that have to do with what they're trying to achieve, whereas Mommy is just, like, a compulsive liar, more of just, like,
she
a
wants
fake
to hurt
bitch
people
in
with
general.
her lies. Yeah.
But, like, I definitely think the core of everything in the show is going to come down to loneliness. It's everyone's doing what they're doing because they're lonely. Because it's been brought up a lot of times where, like, he was lonely. He said, I was desperate because I was lonely. And she said, everybody gets lonely sometimes.
She can probably relate to that
somehow. Why is she lonely? Like, is it that her parent... Like, because there's this whole gimmick going on so far that he has made up that she's extremely rich.
Yeah.
But she lives in the dorm next to him. She is just like a dumpy college student ordinarily.
He is also rich. He comes from a rich family, clearly.
Well, they own a sake shop. I don't think they're rich. I think that they're maybe upper middle class or something. Yeah. They seem, fine.
It seems like they've got money, it's just they're not spending it like idiots. Like,
well, that's why.
That's the impression I get.
I mean, they are spending it like idiots, though.
Well, the grandma's spending it like idiots, because it's probably her money,
so is the kid.
You know?
Yeah, that's true.
Grandma's fucking loaded. You know grandma's loaded.
I'm thinking that we're going to find out that the girl is not from money. She is, in fact, broke or something, and, like, her parents work all the time, so she's copying them by working all the time, too, or something. Like, there's got to be some reason she thinks she has to work all the time, but she's chosen a job that allows her to be with people because she is so lonely.
I can see it going one of two ways. That it's either there's some financial burden that she specifically needs this particular high-paying job, which is, I mean, then you could be like, well, did you really need this job? There's got to be alternatives of some kind. Maybe. Or the thing is, as you said, it is a specific, maybe like her parent, like we don't know anything about her backstory. Maybe her parents are dead and she is simply desperately lonely. Though you really think she could, like, make friends? I mean, I don't know why you would have to do this.
Like, a thing about her character, her ordinary appearance is, like, she portrays herself as, like, the nerdy girl. She covers up. She doesn't show much. She tries to be, like, fly under the radar. No one is going like, oh, she's gorgeous.
As a job.
Yeah.
She's very similar to the Metamorphosis girl, and there are comparisons to be made. Glasses, nerd, braid girl, turning into... That's actually literally how Metamorphosis starts, with her getting a job like this. Yeah. So it's a dangerous road, is the only thing.
It's like, I
mean, in fairness, in Metamorphosis, it was mostly her dad raping her, I think, that sent her over the edge into the world of...
That only happened after she got a makeover, and the dad could no longer help himself. In defense of my man. Jesus. In defense of my boy.
And for that we drink.
That was rough. But, Vic, you were saying something.
But yeah, her backstory will probably tie into her, you know...
It's the biggest question mark.
You know?
Yeah, I
in a way. Maybe she doesn't like attention, or she does like attention, or she thinks she's only good for her beauty, or something like that, you know. A million different things that could come out of that.
I think we'll find out with Mommy that she has, like, severe trust issues, like, somebody fucked her over.
She seems broken.
She's like, everybody's fucked, so I'm just gonna fuck everybody, you know, But yeah, I mean, we don't know the answers to these questions. What we do know, because we've mostly, at this point, been speculating what we think or hope this show will be about, because there's not that much to really say about what's actually there. It's very straightforward.
They go on dates. Wacky situations emerge.
It's a fucking harem rom-com. Like, you've seen it before.
I don't think I'd call it a harem. Like, it's just a rom-com.
Once they build the four girls orbiting the guy.
I think when the other two girls come in,
The fact that there's four girls in the opening.
I think this is just, like, when I think harem... I think of, like, a very specific type of show. When I think rom-com, I think this is a rom-com.
Well, give it time.
It's just like How to Raise a Boring Girlfriend or my romantic love comedy Snafu, or like any of the stuff in that line.
It depends what they lean into. If they lean into the 4 girls obsessed with the guy's cock and all wanting to date him, it'll feel more harem-y. I mean, it's just that the OP and ED really present it as there's only one girl who's even remotely in the running. Like, but we can always tell who's gonna win.
You can always tell, but it's not always explicit. Like, there are sometimes it's like, oh, all 5 girls get equal runtime in the OP, but the last girl in the OP is the one that we like. It's not like that with this show. You see way more of the main girl.
You see more of the main girl.
And you see equal amounts of all the others. I think it's going to be more of an arc-by-arc thing where, like, once Mommy's thing is resolved, she'll be gone, and we'll move on to other girls.
I disagree.
No.
Do you think that, what is it? Not Ore Emo, but what's the one we did? The
Eromanga.
Is Eromanga a harem? Because I feel that this is similar.
I would say Eromanga...
That feels pretty similar to this.
Eromanga is very similar to Ore Emo, obviously, but like both of those are shows where it's more about the main character sort of going between each of these girls. Like, because in Ore Emo, it's like he actually dates Kuroneko, breaks up with her, and gets up with, the sister. And like in Eromanga, it's much more of like a traditional harem in that he doesn't date any of them. They all are in love with him.
Right.
In this show, he did actively date the ex. He is now kind of in the process of getting towards dating this other girl. Like, I think it's going to be more straight. I don't think it's going to be a harem. I think it's going to be more straightforward. I think he'll actually start dating that girl before.
Think of it as like Toradora, where it's like Toradora. You know who he's getting with in the end. It's a rom-com, but it's like you want him for various reasons to get with every girl in the series because they're all.
There's a case to be made.
I don't want him to get with any of those other dumb bitches. No, Taiga's the only one.
But they all have, like, their own appeals and, like...
I mean, I like Mommy more than the main girl in this show.
That's because you're insane and Mommy fucking sucks.
No, she's...
psycho bitch.
She's a psycho bitch, but, like, all she needs is, a little...
A good dick.
At least she doesn't literally put it out for money. At least she doesn't... I mean... There's a case to be made that a lot of male-female transactions in general boil down to these kind of calculations. But I gotta say, the final the chef's kiss at the end of the opening when we see all these romantic situations and it just pans down to a fucking check, fucking bill for like 120,000 yen. It's like, Jesus Christ, the commodification. Human interaction means nothing. It all means dollars and cents at the end of the day. Jesus, it makes me so viscerally angry to see that. And that's just why I just hope we lean into how that's not good, this is bad, please don't operate your life like this. It doesn't hurt to stress it a little bit excessively. Yeah. Please do, because the people who watch this are not that bright people. That's all there is to it. If you're enjoying this and watching it, you're either young, aka stupid, or you're just stupid, and you're stupid. I mean, because it's not that good.
I will say this show has nice art. It's not badly directed or anything. Like
it's nice enough.
As far as being what it is goes,
girls look
it's
nice.
Like this is as good of an adaptation of whatever it's adapting as it probably could be. Mm-hmm. You know, like
realistically,
lots of great looking shots of characters. You know, just lots of good character artwork. Basically, the girls are really hot. Obviously, for someone like me, it's like, well, there's porn. Why would I watch this?
Yeah, this would be a better porn.
But here's the thing.
Than anything.
And I think this is a very Japanese kind of thing. It's partly young people, like you said, but it's also a very Japanese thing to have, sexual excitement that's deliberately non-pornographic. Like, this show is for cucks. This show is made for if you like netorare, if you like, if you're interested in the fact that people can steal one another's girlfriends and all this kind of shit. Like, if that's your thing, this show is definitely for you.
And as we had said before, I think it sure looks like the character is actively jacking off to the memory of his ex-girlfriend or whatever.
Immediately at the start of episode 1, that happens.
Like I said, the end of the opening cuts to the bill, leaves a bad taste in your mouth. The end of the ending cuts to a trash can in which a used tissue is tossed into.
Yeah.
The implications have to be that he just jacked off into this.
There's a lot of discussion of how much he masturbates. Like,
that tissue can is full constantly.
Yeah, they're always talking about I'm a virgin, I'm a big masturbator, and he's literally jacking off to thoughts of his ex fucking other guys.
I'd rather be reading Onani Master Kurosawa because that is it's not like this at all, but it also features masturbation heavily. So That's my get into recommendations. Go read that instead.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with this, but it's better.
There's one element. Masturbation exists in both. And the story is way better.
I guess you could say it's thematically similar. They're both kind of about like
they're about a loser guy
who
kind
thinks
of
society
growing.
is fake and like then realizes I was the fake one.
That is true. And at the end of the day, it is about the personal development of the main character and making right the wrongs that he's done and untangling this web of relationships that he's retardedly weaved for himself.
I want to touch on like episode 4 a bit because like episodes 1 through 3 and the first half of 4 are mostly like like you said, just situations, haha, whatever. Yeah. Episode 4 is where things finally kind of come to their first heading point where somebody has to do something, and it's like main character guy's best friend dude just suddenly fucking
Kibe. He deserves a name because he's the best character in the series. Kibe.
He is, but it's like it's also it's very much like you're in this scene, the characters have put themselves in kind of a box, they don't know where to do, and then friend guy just kind of makes the show move. He's like,
thank God for him.
He punches main character. He tells him, you suck and here's why. He tells the ex-girlfriend, you suck and here's why.
But let's establish why. So the element we haven't really touched on is that in the newly developed relationship of the rental girlfriend, the ex-girlfriend is getting jealous, and now in episode 3, she, in front of them, shit talks them, and talks about the intimate details of their date to both embarrass the guy and make the new girlfriend feel bad. So she's being a bitch, she's being catty, and then in episode 4, there's another thing that happens where she just kisses him. At the end of episode 3, she takes him aside and kisses him, clearly just because, I mean, it's explicitly written down for us in black and white, to destroy the relationship. Right. Not that she's loves him again or anything.
She's trying to get him to break up with his new girlfriend, which he gets up and he says he's going to break up with her.
It is succeeding because he is like it's this annoying push-pull, and it's inevitable in this particular story where we see it was a fake relationship between the main guy and girl. We know that, and they know that, thank God. And but as a result, but we can see what's actually happening is a real relationship is being built underneath the fake one. So while that's being built up a little bit, the guy here getting kissed by the old ex-girlfriend that he's obsessed with, that he's vulnerable to in this way, is like, I got a better option over here. So I'm heading out here.
It's like, for him, it's his original thing, he just wanted to get back with his ex, you know?
Correct.
He's not over her in any way.
He got the girl to deal with the fact that he lost her.
New girl comes in, and she continually is telling him on the surface, I will never go out with you. That is what he's believing, is that he has zero chance with her whatsoever.
Which is the right approach.
And then he doesn't understand that his ex is a psycho bitch who's manipulating him, so he's going like, this is everything I wanted, why would he not go for that, you know?
It's understandable, and he is being actively manipulated by this woman's feminine wiles, explicitly maliciously. So I understand.
And then his friend recognizes all that's happening.
Well, because he then stands in the middle of their friend group humiliatingly for the rental girlfriend and says, I'm thinking of breaking up with my girl. Ha ha ha. She's not good enough for me. I'm just going to go doing other stuff, because they see that he's been ogling the other girl the whole day. Just what a piece of shit.
Yeah, but he's thinking of it as, I'm finally giving her it out, because he doesn't think, he thinks she just wants out.
You're right.
So he's like, I am doing the right thing. I'm giving her the out.
Painful riding the line of, is he actively really hurting the feelings of a girl who likes him? A little bit, yes. Yeah. Or is she just like a whore I can dump because I feel like it? A little bit, yes, as well, which she actively admits. But it hurts both ways.
Because he just feels the guilt of like, I have trapped her in this, and she is being nice to me, you know, and letting this continue to have my back. I'm gonna finally just do this in a way where she can't stop him again, you know?
Yeah, so, that's true. You can do all this privately.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it this way. This is like the anime logic. I have to stand up in front of the whole class and actually in Onani Master Kurosawa. Well, actually, that was way better. In Onani Master Kurosawa, the guy literally weaponizes his own masturbation and puts like his cum in gross places to creep people out. And then later on, when he's like kind of finished that arc, and he's like, what the fuck was I doing? I need to stop this. He just confesses to the whole class, it was me. Please forgive me. And his reputation is ruined, but he goes to zero, but then he's able to build himself back up a stable foundation as a man and as a person. And from there, he develops character and makes real bonds with people, and that's when the series changes and becomes positive. And like our character, it's just that we're simultaneously preserving the lie and building this real relationship thing. Right. And the togetherness thing of having both those go at once is constantly clashing, which makes this a painful experience.
Yes. I mean, it's the point, but
it's the point. It's like they're succeeding at exactly that, which was the goal, clearly.
Clearly the emotion this show wants you to feel is frustration, top to bottom.
Yes. I don't like frustration, though. I hate it.
That's why I said this show is for cops.
Yeah,
it's for people who want to feel frustration.
So it's nostalgic for me. Because many aspects of this have been my life. So it's doing a good job of being relatable that way. Yes, it's infuriating. It was infuriating then, and I would never want to relive anything like that. But a part of me is like, I completely fucking get this character and what's going on.
I mean, I understand.
I'm not that anymore, but I have been that guy before, you know?
Well, the anime about, that one 0 out of 10 anime about where a dog ran away from home. Oh, I relate to that, so it's a 10 out of 10. Because that happened to me, bro.
It's great because of that.
Yeah, all right, I get your point.
It's just I can defend the character because I'm I can understand.
Rest in peace, buddy. I know you're out there somewhere still.
This is a great case of a show that is absolutely perfectly fine at what it is trying to be.
Yeah.
It's just that what it's trying to be is pretty much a very generic rom-com.
Exactly.
That happens to
have... But sometimes that's what a show wants to be.
It's not quite generic. I mean, it is different from something like Jitsu wa Watashi wa is the most standard harem of all time. Mm-hmm. And the niche is just Monster Girls of that or whatever. And that lacks this element of duplicitousness. There is it's that the structure of the relationship in something like Jitsuwa is that the main character and the main girl share a lie that brings them together. And it actually strengthens their relationship. Inherently in this, the relationship itself is built on this weird thing that the relationship itself is to be questioned at all times because is it real? Is it fake? Which I think that element is what sets this apart from a more basic one. And I would argue is a fundamental flaw. Probably not for everybody. Some people will like that. I find it to be inherently an issue with the type of narrative.
Well, because it makes it so that at any point they can just switch it from one to the other. It's
That's
always
true.
will they, won't they, back and forth.
I hate when authors give themselves an out, where at any time I get to choose as the author, is this a real one? Is this a fake one? Because I've felt so many times authors lazily use that to string things along and use that for convenient writing. Yeah. And to be fair, authors have to give themselves that kind of leeway so that they can preserve a series and do the misunderstanding stuff and tease things the right way. But I have been so many times disappointed and have over and over found that writers not that clever on average. We have hope, we extend hope and wishes that this'll all mean something surely at the end of the day. This is building. No one would just write a whole manga and structure all this stuff with these flaws. Surely there must be a plan at work here. Right. No, there almost never actually is. And your doubts are just fully justified in whatever you have most of the time.
Well, because the plan is to sell a bunch of shit.
Well, the plan for the author is to
on their
draw
feet.
Cute girls over and over again for the rest of their life. But so my biggest concern with this series is that this feels like it's based on a manga that is designed to be long. Mm-hmm. The fact that we've only even seen 2 of the girls that are in the OP. There's no way this is reaching any kind of resolution by the end of this season.
No chance.
I don't know if this will be popular enough to get more seasons. I won't read the manga. This anime is not going to end in a satisfying way.
Nope, they never do.
It's going to be... There might be progress we can talk about 4 episodes from now, but it will not be I don't know. This is not going to change your life.
This ain't going to pull... there will not be a stable, solid relationship formed because the writing ain't that deep. You can see, honestly, just by art style alone, you can kind of tell, I can see the level of depth they're going to with this, and it's, weird relationships that aren't real, no actual humans were consulted in the making or writing of this process. This is a neat understanding of relationships, and it's the one thing. In this case, weird, duplicitous liars. That'll be my thing for this anime. And there's lots you can do with liars and manipulators and that kind of stuff, I suppose.
I mean, I really think that the show's message is less that these people are liars and manipulators, and more that everybody has to do a little bit of lying and manipulating, and that, the main character, he is somebody who doesn't recognize anybody else's lies and manipulation, but does it himself. So it's
then feels guilty about it, as if he's the only one doing it.
Right, it's if he could turn that eye outward and just understand that everybody is in the same kind of boat, I think he'd be.
And the only one he sees through is the main girl, who he explicitly had in black and white. We know what our relationship is.
Yeah.
So for a guy who's not great at seeing through the lines, luckily the most honest one about the relationship was that girl, and that's why she's gonna win in the end one of these days. Give it 10
much
seasons.
money will it cost?
Because it's like $120 like every date for 1 hour on Wednesdays, and again, just going back to it, like that check at the end of the opening that just curdles my fucking stomach. It's like after episode 2, when they have their second like wacky unplanned date, the fact that he just like hands over like several hundred yen or whatever, it's just like so like, oh my god, this is like not how human beings should act with each other. This is fucked up.
I'm just waiting for the part where she like. Well, okay, so this is what I'm thinking, right?
Yeah.
At some point, she's gonna ask him to stop sending money unless there's a really good reason she needs the money. So I'm thinking that we're going to get to a point where she's going to start feeling guilty about the fact that he's still paying her.
Yeah.
But she needs the money.
A woman feeling bad about a man paying? I don't think it's going to happen, bro. I don't think it's going to happen.
You might be right.
Fuck that simp.
I was going to restate one point before. That is, like, when it comes to, because I know I came across a little heated, a little hot on some of these subjects here. Like, the idea of general prostitution, sexual or otherwise, is fine. What I don't care for about the show is, like, sort of the implication that, like, it's totally innocuous. There are no negative consequences. Frankly, girls, you should just do it. Open an OnlyFans today. What could go wrong? There's no negative downside. And it's just that's, like, simplistic and actively bad for the world, I would argue. So, sorry to moralize on everybody here for a second here, but like, just like with Budokan, it's like encouraging bad behavior in a way that it doesn't need to, or rather, that's the fear that spikes in me, that it's like, kind of tacitly endorsing that, but luckily the show does in fact come back down and say like, no one can operate like this for long. Ideally, you're going to try to get out, and there has to be some real reason why people are like this, and it leans into that.
I do think there's an element in really all anime of like...
If you're going to hoe ladies, do it, just do it honestly, and know the consequences. Well, that's my point. Or men.
So if you want to teach somebody to better themselves, right?
Yeah.
It's like, if you show them just the final goal... They have no concept of how do I get from where I am to there.
Yeah.
So I do think that this show, as long as its ultimate goal is to get you to stop being a simp, then really the whole logic of the show is like, this is a show for simps to learn how to not be that way. Yeah,
it's the same way.
They hope it is.
What is it? Antivirus vaccines are made from the virus. You have to use the virus to make the cure. And you know, I was gonna say one of the reasons that I have a little bit more leeway for this main character is because like he is a young man at the very beginning. Of course, he's making all kinds of mistakes. We all do.
And he actually asks girls out.
He's ahead of most main characters.
He tries to progress the relationship with his girlfriend. Like he takes her out to bars to try to get her drunk. He tries to hold hands with her. Like he tries to.
He's doing
things,
and he's willing to spend money. It's daddy's money, but nonetheless, he's got it.
So he's definitely, and I like that the characters are a little bit older. They don't really act older, but they have. They're all like 20 or 19.
Well,
we've all got extended adolescence,
too old
right?
in anime.
Yeah.
So
it could be a lot worse. Yeah. And it does what it's doing correctly, adequately. I think for most people, it's just going to be, does this premise seem like funny to you? To me, curdles my fucking blood, makes my spine tingle and quake. But will you like it? Ask yourself that. Do you want to watch characters who are simping pretty hard right now on multiple levels, slowly work their way out of symptom, hopefully? Eventually?
I'm extremely curious, Nate, because of the fact that you are the type to look at it this way. What do you score these first 4 episodes?
I mean, frankly, because like I don't like the premise, but as I said, like it rubs me the wrong way, but it is actively saying like, don't do this. So I like it on that front. And again, it kind of depends how it'll go. I mean, it's not like incompetent. I'm leaning like a maybe like a strong 4, light 5. I guess strong 4, something like that. It's not good. I wouldn't recommend like anyone watch it because there are many better things out there. Yeah. The one advantage is that it's new. So it will get some viewership. That is true. So if you want to watch a new show and like wait in between weeks for the thing with your bros about, I'm a simp too, I relate to this, but I can work my way out of it eventually. There are worse things to watch.
Big.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of, it's like, it's fine, you know? It's like, if you're into this kind of show, or maybe you're a high schooler and you've never watched anything like this, maybe this would be your favorite because it's the first thing you saw. Maybe if you really like the character, like, I think the main girl, super fucking hot. Like,
she's very cute.
It's, certain shows like this, it comes down to, like, are these your favorite character designs in a show like this?
And she's hot, both in her dolled-up girlfriend mode and in her glasses pre-metamorphosis transformation mode.
Yeah.
Like that, too.
Yeah, nice I like the glasses mode, too.
Yeah,
so I love the main girl, aesthetically.
Sure.
So it's like, that probably enhances it for me far more than it does for you, because I'm like, I could watch this girl for a while, you know, because that's like the goal of the show, is like, have hot girls that you want to watch.
Yes,
but
correct.
It's like, as far as what I think the show wants to do and wants to say, I think it's doing a fine job of that. Would I ever watch this if we weren't doing a show reacting to it?
Not a chance.
No.
Not a chance.
I would not.
Right.
Like, if we stopped today and you guys were like, we're not going to do content on this anymore, I would not finish this. I would forget about it in like a month,
I mean, whether
you know?
we even do more of this, I honestly think will come down to like the audience telling us if they want us to do more of this.
I don't want to watch more. I would love if someone could tell me if they've read the manga or if like when it's done. Let me know how it does. Do we go simp? Do we cure it? What's the resolution here? But I certainly don't want to. But if people demand it, then I mean, I'm happy to dive in. We'll see what people say, I guess.
Yeah, for me, I would give this I'd give it like a strong 6 to almost a light 7. Like in terms of what it's trying to be, it's like maybe not even a 7, just like a 6, because like there are parts where it's entertaining and where like I like that the characters are a little older, a little bit more self-aware. Like even though the main character fucks up all the time because he doesn't understand other people.
When our boy Kibe came in and just laid down the law, and he said, "Guy, you're fucking it up by being trifling on your girlfriend. Girl, you are being a fucking hoe by leading my boy on."
And you know he's an idiot, right?
Thank you. And then he goes to talk to the current girlfriend and just says, "My bro fucked up. He's my best friend. He's a good guy, and he is a good guy."
Right.
So what a blessing it was to have a great, nice guy like that help his bro out. You love to see it.
There's scenes like that make it feel like the show is actually progressing. Like it's not just interested in creating misunderstandings.
I agree.
You know,
it is
does
doing
want
something.
the characters to have some emotional progress, some development. My biggest fear is that we'll get to the end of this arc. They'll have like a heartwarming moment where they're like, "Oh, maybe we do like each other even without the money." And then
that's how it's gonna
right
go.
After that, they're gonna introduce the next girl, and then we're just gonna go into a totally different arc. We're barely gonna hear from the main girl. It's gonna be totally about this new girl and tread water for the next 5 episodes. Like that's what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
So like, at the position we're in now, it's like when we were watching the first episode, most of my impression was like, okay, I see where this is going. This is just going to be, it's just going to be these two get misunderstood. Like, we were really worried it was all going to be, like, the grandma, like, having to keep up appearances for grandma, Yeah. Because there are shows that have literally just been that, Once we got to...
Nisekoi? Didn't Nisekoi have the exact same premise? Or is a guy and girl are, like, they're pretending to be engaged for the family? There's a million,
premise. But, like... When we got to the scene where they all meet up at the restaurant, where the ex is there and new girl is there, and new girl stands up to the ex because she's like, "You're acting like a fucking bitch."
She was.
And then main character guy stands up and ultimately
he just bows.
Yeah, he just kind of like
please.
doesn't take either side really. He's just kind of like, "Look, it's just how I am. Like I'm a pushover," and she leaves. That was the first scene where I was like, okay. This is like a real social dynamic happening. Like the fact that I think my favorite line is when Mommy says like, all of my friends agree with me or something like that. Like it's just that is a very real thing that I see all the time because I participate in online communities full of mommies all the time.
Sure.
Who are like, like they think that because somebody else will tell you that they are right, that means they're right,
That's an appeal to popularity fallacy, ladies and gentlemen.
And she does a lot of that kind of shit. So, like, that was when I really understood that character. I was like, okay, she is like a she's not just psycho bitch. Yeah. She's a realistic portrayal of a social manipulator. That's why I want to know her backstory. Because there could be a real-ass reason And so if this show were to give like interesting backstories to the girls, and
I think she'll be redeemed.
More,
I think she'll be redeemed.
I would be okay with that. But my suspicion is that we're just going to keep introducing new girls, and we're going to keep pushing those backstory elements farther and farther back into the show, and we're going to keep, because there's so many scenes of just fluff and boring, and like this is a show, like when I said it could be a 7. That was before I was thinking about like just how bored I was during certain parts of episodes 3 and 4 where they're at the beach hanging out, and I don't care at all.
I said several times, felt endless.
Yes.
Like they just kept going.
I mean, I kept going to the bathroom and checking my phone, so I wasn't quite feeling as lost at it as you guys.
It's just that feeling of like you already know how the scene is going to end when it starts. You're like,
right,
all right,
exactly.
I see where they went there. I know where the conclusion
and as opposed to God of High School, when there was a new scene, I was like, yes, another scene in the episode. Fuck yeah!
I mean, we had been talking about when we were watching Decadence how at the very start, even though Decadence is still like fairly fast paced and introduces new concepts regularly, at the very start of the episode, there's like a moment where like I had this weird feeling because in God of High School, I would have expected someone to get killed right there.
Right.
And like, but it doesn't happen.
You have to adjust to the...
But it does happen like a minute later, so I wasn't wrong. It's just the sheer speed of that show made me like, okay, well, I know somebody's going to die. It's going to happen right now. Oh, okay, it didn't happen. Maybe they're not going to die. Oh, they did die. Okay, it just took another minute. You know, like, this show is like, we literally were calling shots, like, minutes ahead of time.
The whole,
you know?
they were, the crazy situation in the hospital with the grandmas, now they know that they're dating. Yeah. It didn't go exactly the way I predicted, but the two, of course, were like, oh no, we have to escape. Go into a side room. Wacky situation. They're about to open the door. Quick, get into the covers. Oh no, we're hugging so closely now. She's so sexy. And I thought she would see them because they were talking about sex. They didn't see them, but everything else happened up to that point. Exactly as predicted. The tropes are rolling. The character designs are not particularly original. I like the new... I want to see that Tsukasa girl. I like her, and I want to know what's up with her. Just because I like her character design. That's the only thing that makes me want to watch any more.
How do you know
to know what trope is she going to be?
How do you
You're
know
very fixated on her.
No, there's no name. Oh, I'm calling her Tsukasa because she has the same dealies as from Lucky Star, Tsukasa's bunny ear thing. And she has similar hairstyle. Whatever. So I don't know her name at all, but... I don't know. Maybe I am just being that guy who sees a character in a harem and is like, I'm gonna watch for that one.
Yeah.
I want to see what this one's about because I like that design. So in that way, it is being effective.
Wrong way to live. I mean,
no,
honestly, like
not for a show like this.
I mean, people underestimate how much when you do a character design, you design it around the personality that you expect the character to have. So like, yes, when you look at a character, you do kind of already know if you're gonna like them or not to some degree.
Like the fourth girl we see constantly blushing. I'm sure she's the shy one. I don't know what that is exactly, but it's gonna be something.
I think she's gonna be like a loud shy, like the type who's constantly flustered, like don't look at me.
She looks like it.
Kind of
highly energetic blushing activity. Anyway, I think we've pretty much wrapped up our thoughts.
We don't know what the next thing we'll be watching is, but it will be on screen here by the time this is edited.
Sure.
You should go watch all of our channels and all the links in the description, including to probably our schedule somewhere, so you can watch the shows with us.
Sounds good, everybody. See you soon. KHANTEHNT! Bye!